Frogapalooza is soon to be back at the Sternberg Museum. If you are looking for something not only entertaining but also educational to take your kids to, you won't want to miss this. Make sure and tune into Around Town coming up next to find out more. Hi, welcome to Around Town. I'm your host, Brandy Doggett. We're talking today to Thea Haugen about Frogapalooza. Can you tell me a little bit about, first of all, what you actually do out at the Sternberg Museum?
I take care of the animals out at the Sternberg Museum and the Discovery Room, do programs. That's my job.
Okay. And this is Frogapalooza, and like I said at the beginning, it's backed by popular demand. So how many times have you had Frogapalooza out at the Sternberg?
This will be our third year for Frogapalooza.
Okay. And how many students usually come to that?
Wow, we have lots of students. We limit the class sizes, but we always get overbooked. 30, 40, 50 kids at least.
Oh, wow. So what is Frogapalooza exactly? Can you explain it to me a little bit more? Frogapalooza
is showing kids the types of frogs we have here in Kansas, the choruses, the sounds they make, because it's just like a symphony at night. And you can tell the types of frogs by the sounds they make. You can kind of gauge the numbers of frogs, the health of the frog population. It's fun. And we also show them how to imitate some of the frog calls themselves.
Now, I'm sure all of viewers at home are wondering why you have a snake. Can you tell me a little bit about why you brought him with you today?
I brought this snake because, although this is about frogs and toads, this snake is a hognose, and he is specialized in eating toads. And that is his niche in society. And he's pretty excited because he smells the toads. But once in a while, the toad gets a look at the snake, and the toad wants to eat the snake.
So you said that the frog will actually, or the toad will actually want to eat the snake. Does that go back and forth? Like earlier, we were talking about how when the snake is smaller, then the frog will eat that.
Yes.
But then when it gets older, then the snake will actually eat the toad.
This toad right here is an adult toad, but he's only about a third his size. When he's full grown, he will fit in most of this jar, and this hognose would be able to eat him, just the whole thing. When this hognose was a baby, this toad would have sucked him down just like a gumdrop.
Now, I mean, the hognose isn't that big of a snake, but how is it going to eat that whole toad?
Well, how they can eat big things is snakes' jaws come unhinged here. They come unhinged here, and they come unhinged here. So all this separates. So they're just like a big old transformer. And then the hognose has specialized to eat toads. He's got fangs in the very back of his mouth. Yeah, you can open? No, he's not going to open. And the toad, when he grabs a toad, the toad's going to fill up with air so he can't be swallowed. And the snake kind of works his jaws and his teeth until he kind of wads him up, and he's really all puffy. And then just like you'd pop a water balloon with a pin, those fangs go in, pop that air sac, and the air shoots out, and the poor toad isn't very happy, and he screams, but he shrinks down really fast, and then the snake just starts swallowing him.
Now, let's get back to Frogapalooza exactly. Can you explain to me what you can expect to see at that event?
We will have a variety of frogs. There's some cricket frogs in here and a boreal chorus frog. These are adult frogs. This is as big as they're going to get. We're going to have some of these out.
So they're what, just about the size of a quarter?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we do not have any bullfrogs right now, but bullfrogs get huge. We'll have the leopard frog. I've brought one. We'll have a variety of toads, tree frogs. We have tree frogs in Kansas. So there'll be a lot of frogs and toads for the kids to hold, see how they hop. Toads kind of hop where frogs leap. Their back legs are different. We'll explain the differences between frogs and toads. They'll have some hands-on experience. And hopefully some of the frogs and toads will eat for the kids, too.
Will you have any snakes at the exhibit?
Sometimes we do. It just depends on what kind of mood everybody's in.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. We'll be back with more about Frogapalooza, but first, here's your community calendar. Welcome back to Around Town. We're still talking to Thea about the Frogapalooza that's coming up. You explained to us a little bit what it's about, but when is the event actually going to happen?
It's going to be Saturday, May 8th. There will be 4 sessions. The morning sessions are at 10 and 11. They are for 4-year-olds through kindergartners. Those are about 30 minutes apiece. Then in the afternoon, we have, I have to read my notes, I'm sorry. Grades 1 to 2 will be at 1 p.m. That one will be about an hour, and grades 3 and older will be at 3 p.m. The maximum class size is 30 on those. This is a free program, but you have to have admission to the museum to go to it. So if you are a museum member, it won't cost you anything. If you are wanting to visit the museum, this is a good time to take advantage of that. You get to pay your admission and see the museum, and your kids have a program. And we do ask that you register for the program because seating is limited and we always fill up.
And when do people have to actually register by?
Well, I wouldn't give up calling that day, but you're better off getting registered by late next week.
Okay. And how can they do that? Is there somebody they need to call?
If they would call Brian Bartels at 628-5502, or you can email him at, I don't know his email address, brian.cbartels@gmail.com.
Okay.
And the reason I said even call on the same day, because quite often we have cancellations. People end up going out of town.
Okay. And what if you have like student kids that are like, different ages? Can they possibly like all go together, or is it definitely always split up?
They can go together, but the classes are geared for those age groups. So if children are older, they might not enjoy the younger class as much. If you pay for your ticket to go to the museum, that ticket's good all day. So if you came at 9 in the morning and left at 10, you could still come back at 2 or 3 and not have to pay again.
Okay.
So if that, but we try to make considerations for large families.
Now, right here we have a toad, and we're actually talking about feeding it, right? And then we're going to feed the snake too at some point if we have time.
If we have time.
What were we going to feed the toad?
What I thought was interesting, people don't realize how good frogs and toads are at eating things. I live out in the country, and I have big fat, this toad here is a Woodhouse's toad, and it will get huge. And when they get really big, they like to eat mice. I mean, they'll go after mice at my place. Oh, what did you say? So I've got, this is a frozen mouse I bought, and I've had it sitting under one of the frogs. Hey, settle down. You want to eat your mouse? You want to eat? Good job. Good job. He was trying to eat the snake. Now that he's out of the jar, he's not. Come on. Here. Nope. He's not going to do it.
Okay, well, we'll be right back with more Around Town, but first, here's your community calendar. Welcome back to Around Town. We're still here talking to Thea, and before we went to break, we tried to feed a frog. That didn't go so well. But now we're going to try and feed this rat to a snake. So, Thea?
Okay, what I've done, I told you, this is the hognose. He likes to eat frogs and toads. I had some frozen mice that I had sitting under one of the frogs, and he was all excited about it a minute ago. Will you want to swallow that? Do you want to? I have another snake, too. Garter snakes eat frogs and toads. They're not garden snakes. They're not gardener snakes. They're garter snakes. And they're pretty good eaters, too. Everybody is getting all excited. All you wanted to do was eat that frog and toad earlier. Stay. Here. Come over here. You're all right. But support its body.
Oh, my God.
You're doing good. Look at you. Remember that bull snake when you were a little girl?
Oh, man.
Okay, this is a garter snake. And we're not having much success here feeding you guys. Getting starstruck? So we'll start with a worm. All right, here. Want a worm? Yeah, not my knee, the worm. Not my finger, the worm. There you go.
Oh, my gosh. Look at him go. Is that worm alive?
Yeah.